Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here. And guys, I actually just went on a whirlwind trip. Whirlwind. I mean, my head is still spinning. Is it crazy that the least interesting thing that happened to me this week is that I went to Tokyo Disney and crossed that off my bucket list? Because I tell you, that is not the craziest thing that happened to me this week. It happened within the vicinity of the Tokyo Disney Resort, but it definitely did not happen at any of the parks. Let me explain. So this past week, while folks on the channel like Dragon and Jacob Weil and folks like that were kindly doing podcasts on Ted Lasso and Phineas and Ferb and all that, I was, in fact, in Tokyo. I was totally in Tokyo. There was no way that I was not in Tokyo. So, guys, I gotta tell you, literally, Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, I can't even wrap my head around how awesome they were. Because technically I didn't actually go to them. This is all just a ruse. But what did happen to me, though, outside of the parks, it was late one night, and let me weave you a story, because this was urban exploration Disney level craziness. Like, I am kind of speechless about what happened. I might have just bent all of the fabric of time and space. So, Ikspiari Springs. I am terribly sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It is the shopping and dining district. It's kind of Tokyo Disney's downtown Disney. I was there one evening after wrapping up Tokyo Disney Sea, and I noticed that there was this small little, like, cave formation thing. It didn't really stick out that much, but it was kind of like tucked behind a building. And I just went and sort of explored there. And lo and behold, guys, I did, in fact, find the entrance to a cave. And I was like, okay, in the back of my head, this is not a good idea to be exploring here. Like, I could clearly get in a lot of trouble for doing this. But, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I go into the cave and I start wandering around. And I like, the weird thing is I can't even figure out how this logistically worked, because like on the outside, all I saw was like a small hill with a cave opening. But this cave system was massive. And before I knew it, I was wandering around this cave system aimlessly. Just stalactites, stalagmites all the way around. I mean, I'm sure that at some point I saw the Rainbow Caverns, and not just like, oh, we're gonna implement the Mine Train Through Wonderland Rainbow Caverns into the space. No, it's like, guys, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you walk into this cave system, the Rainbow Caverns are like the signature centerpiece of what you are seeing. And after walking past the Rainbow Caverns, in a way, I feel like those Rainbow Caverns, if hypothetically, very hypothetically speaking, this weird cave system that I stumbled in was actually a theme park, I would say that the Rainbow Caverns would kind of be like the main street of said theme park. And then I get to this giant sort of like open cavern that is very much acts like a hub. There's 4 different openings, 2 on each side, kind of like the setup for Disneyland a little bit, where you have like the west side and the east side. So 4 different distinct caves. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like in a sort of mix of being really excited, like, what the hell did I just stumble onto? This is crazy. And also, this is freaking terrifying, and I don't know where the hell I am, and I'm literally in a foreign country right now. I really shouldn't be exploring like this. But you know what? I explored on anyways. The really interesting thing, though, you know how at the end of most Disney parks, at the end of the main street, there's like a castle of some sort? Well, here, just kind of like constructed into the actual cave system itself on the east end of the park, kind of like right off to the side, east end of the hub area that I described, that little chamber hub. Well, it's not little, it's pretty big. But on the east area of that, there was a bathhouse, a Roman style bathhouse with the pillars and the arches and stuff like that. And I wandered in there, and lo and behold, guys, there were genuine baths in there, like salt baths, all kinds of different colors of bath water that you could take. It's funny because when I was getting ready for this Tokyo trip, my good friend Joker's Wild told me about these bathhouses that exist in Japan. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of culturally cool. I can't really wrap my head around it. Apparently, it's like a very popular thing to do in Japan. And hypothetically, this is very hypothetical. If Disney were to do a water park in Japan, I imagine that they could use bathhouse style elements. Not necessarily a complete bathhouse. Like, for example, Joker's told me that it's literally like against the rules to not be naked in these Japanese bathhouses. And I imagine when I got in these baths, I mean, I happened to be wearing my red shorts anyways, my walking shorts. So that basically doubled as a bathing suit. I didn't really have to strip naked or anything. I can't imagine Disney would be able to run something like that where you would have to get naked. I imagine it would be like bathing suits. But the experience, kind of like, sort of getting that sort of different sort of minerals in the baths, like oatmeal baths, salt baths, like I said, different colors of baths, milk baths, etc., and so on and so forth. Very, very interesting. But I mean, that's the thing. This whole bathhouse was just there. It was like, it's almost as if it had kind of like warp-holed through the space-time continuum, through ancient Rome, and ended up right here in modern-day Tokyo in this weird cave system. So then I go more towards the east. And you know what I find? And this is where my mind just starts to really start racing. And I'm like, what the hell? Where did I stumble up? What did I end up in? I see Tia Dalma's shack from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But again, this is not like some sort of weird theme park recreation of Tia Dalma's shack. I'm telling you guys, this was the shack. I went in, and Naomi Harris wasn't there. Tia Dalma herself was there. And she served me some jambalaya, and she served me a bunch of Creole cuisine that I can't pronounce the name of because I'm uncultured. I'm sure if there were other people on my team that were on this trip with me, they could probably come up with a better description of the food that I was served than I could. But alas, I kind of got the impression that this shack was, again, hypothetically, totally not true, but hypothetically, if this place that I was in were a theme park, Tia Dalma shack would probably serve as like one of the main eating areas, one of the main restaurants. And then outside of Tia Dalma shack, there is another cave entrance, and I wander in. And lo and behold, guys, I find myself somewhere. I mean, if I haven't said crazy enough in this video, I mean, I don't know, but it was crazy. Once again, I want to emphasize, I found myself in the Pirates of the Caribbean caves, but it wasn't a recreation of the Disneyland Pirates of the Caribbean caves. Guys, I'm talking, it was a full-blown, like, cave system that just happened to be laid out kind of like Dead Man's Grotto. It had a lot of the same signature elements as Dead Man's Grotto, like the captain's quarters and the bar and the treasure. But you know what it also had? It also had a few cave openings that led out into almost water slide style runoffs. And yes, I did go down a few of them, and they were very fun. But also, I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? Oh my god, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know why I am doing this. This is totally not a theme park I am in right now. But you know, that's just the vibe that I got when I was in here. Was just, it felt very natural. It felt very nature made. It was like a nature made water slide. That was so cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was super cool. And then lo and behold, when I was also exploring this grotto, I'm going to just go ahead and call it the Dead Man's Grotto, just for prosperity's sake. I come upon a boat, and it's pretty much exactly the same style of boat as the Pirates of the Caribbean rides. And I'm like, what's this? What's going on? But I do get in it. And actually, it was terrifying. Because, once again, I am convinced, and I know this sounds totally crazy, but I am convinced that this cave that I ended up in was some sort of real-world portal to a fantasy dimension. Because I was being pursued by goddamn skeleton pirates. Skeleton pirates. Straight up skeleton pirates. And the really freaky thing is that when they were not in the moonlight that was kind of showing through the cracks of these caves, the skeletons would just be static. But then when the moonlight crept up, they would come alive. And I was floating in this boat. One could almost say I was floating down a lazy river of sorts. And man, I mean, I was just praying to God that some of these skeleton pirates weren't just going to straight up attack me. I was being as quiet as I could. Some of them very much lingered and leered at me. But alas, I am alive. Thank God. So after I my boat that I got on sort of came back around to where I got on it, I was like, okay, you know what? No, I am lucky that I got back to, again, hypothetically, if this was a water park, which it's totally not a water park, but if it was, this would be the loading area. And yeah, I was lucky enough to get back there. And I was considering after that, after the encounter with the skeleton pirates, I was very much considering, I was very much on edge. And I was considering, okay, like, I really need to get the hell out of these caves. Much like Reba McEntire in that one Land Before Time video, Littlefoot, let's get out of these caves. That's a Jenny Nicholson deep cut for y'all. Anyways, so I make it out to the hub of the park again, and I am like kind of trying to get out of there. I'm trying to find my way back. I'm trying to find my way through the Rainbow Caverns. But I'm drawn more towards the west side of the caves because I hear this machinery going on, this very heavy machinery. And so I go exploring the west side of the caves against my better judgment. And lo and behold, I find some crazy subterranean steampunk setup. And I can't even describe it to you guys because, frankly, this is the land that we developed the least, so we don't really have a lot of detail on it. I can't really describe it to you guys, but I got the sense that I had just stumbled upon the source of the craziness of this cave. And I had just stumbled upon maybe the steampunk contraption. And again, it was just like a giant sort of steampunk machine, like almost like I don't know, it's hard to describe. It had, like, think steampunk. It's a steampunk machine. That's all I can come up with right now. It was big. And I got the sense that because of this machine, that is what was pulling in these crazy alternate dimensions. And that's when I saw C3PO. So I get the sense that, again, hypothetically, this was a theme park, which it totally wasn't, that this steampunk area would probably contain some water slides that go in and out of the giant steampunk machine itself. I also get the sense that if you were to theme this, it would very much be Captain Nemo inspired, maybe even tie into the Journey to the Center of the Earth attraction. And when I was in there, I could, especially because I had just done the Journey to the Center of the Earth attraction that same day, I very much got the vibe that the steampunk area was kind of like, it was crazy because much like how Dead Man's Grotto felt like the Pirates of the Caribbean caves, except more real and more naturalistic, I got the same vibe here from the Journey to the Center of the Earth caves. It very much felt like an extension of that kind of theme. But I did see C3PO, though. I'm burying the lead on the C3PO thing. I saw C3PO. And once again, this wasn't Anthony Daniels in a costume. This wasn't an animatronic. This was the C3PO, guys. I am not messing around here. And he told me that, unfortunately, he has been sold off to the Hutt clan. And the Hutt clan has taken residence up in these caves. But the good news is that I have been invited to a seedy underground Star Wars spa. That's right. Much like the bathhouse, the Roman bathhouse, this Star Wars section it was essentially a cave. Like, kind of like how Jabba's palace was built into the side of a mountain on Tatooine. I very much got the same vibe. I don't exactly know, because again, my speculation is that the steampunk machine was sort of, causing all these different alternate multiverses and alternate dimensions to crash into each other. Fiction was literally becoming reality right before my very damn eyes. I didn't know what planet I was on. I want to say it was Mustafar because it was definitely warm. Could definitely see some red rock work. And also because I sort of got the sense that there was a little bit of a transition from that steampunk with, again, the Journey to the Center of the Earth, very lava-based, into sort of a Mustafar cave system. Once again, if this was totally a theme park, which it is absolutely not, that would be a pretty interesting transitioning point. But lo and behold, guys, I have been in a BAFTA tank. And it was incredible. You guys, you don't know. You just don't know the sheer relaxation and just your whole body when you're in that tank feels completely revitalized. It was amazing. But then there was one pit that did lead to a Rancor. And one could say if you go down this pit, it's almost like a drop slide on a body slide, where you get in that little tube and you have to cross your arms like this. But it was kind of in the style of Star Wars. And when you did drop, you dropped straight into a cavern. The runoff from this drop did lead you right to a Rancor animatronic. Did I say animatronic? I didn't mean animatronic. I meant a real Rancor because this is totally a real story that I'm telling you guys right now. And I'm not slipping that up. I'm not slipping up the continuity of that at all. So I will admit, after that Rancor encounter, I was done. I mean, I love the BAFTA tank. I love being in the bathhouse. The pirates definitely freaked me out. The steampunk, almost a little overwhelming as far as just how cosmically crazy it all was. And so I did go back through the Rainbow Caverns and back out into the Japan night air. And once again, I reiterate, the entrance to this crazy cave system just sort of looks like a small hill But when you actually explore, it's so much more. Guys, I don't know if you go to Tokyo Disney, I genuinely don't know if you'd be able to find this spot, because I tried going back the next day. I couldn't find it for the life of me. I don't know what the hell I stumbled onto. For the life of me, I can't explain it. Like I said, fiction was literally colliding with reality in this cave system. But man, it's a story that I'm always going to hold on to. My mind is racing right now. I have seen things